Hey everybody in YouTube land. This is your friend Richard, aka ECW Fan Collector. And with it being late June and the start of July in another couple days, I decided to show off some of my pickups. These are some good major pickups, and stay tuned until the end for one of the big major ones that I picked up and I made a trade on, which I'll discuss. But let's go ahead and get to the main movies and games and some good Blu-rays to start. Now, I picked up 2 Blu-rays to add to my collection, and I've been building up my Blu-ray collection, and I've decided to add some classic classic Disney animated films. I wanted to get the Disney animated films from like the the classic ones from like Snow White and Cinderella, all the way up to like the early 2000s if I can. And one of them I found was Robin Hood. This one has the classic, songs, and this is one of my favorite animated Disney films. I used to watch this as a kid a lot back in the day. Now, a couple weeks ago, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had been in a pawn shop, and they made a mistake on something, and they actually fixed it. They come back and they told me to get store credit. So I went ahead and went in there, and I picked these up on store credit. I picked up Black Widow, the Blu-ray. It's a nice red case too. I like that little red case. That's a pretty cool case color, especially for Black Widow. I think it plays off the movie thing really good. I think it's the first red case Blu-ray I've ever got. I picked up Mean Streets, which is a Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro film. This is from the late 70s, early 80s, I believe. I have to look at that. I didn't even know De Niro made that until I looked on the back and said, this looks pretty interesting. It's about the mob and about a New York cop, and this seems pretty cool. At the Goodwill, and I've been meaning to show this one off for a long while, and I keep forgetting. I got this one actually months ago. It is White Men Can't Jump. I picked this one up at the Goodwill. This was a nice one. You don't know Jimmy? I know Jimmy. And I think Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes made a hell of a good team in this. And I know, I think they said for a good while people pitched the sequel to this. And they was like, no, that maybe only works as a good one-off. And it's really got some good basketball scenes. I really like it. Now, for those of you who don't know, back on the vlog, the ECW fan vlog at Penn Springs, Eddie was, ripping into me for not picking up a certain DVD, and I was like, I don't need that one. And part of me was like giving Eddie, I like to razz Eddie about stuff, and I was like, well, and I thought about picking it up there, and I was like, and I would see it at 2 other places, and then one day, this is weeks later, I'm in the pawn shop, and I see the 70th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz, a 2-disc set, and it's really in nice condition. I mean, look at the back of it. That's nice color. So I went ahead and picked it up for $1. Yeah, Eddie, I went ahead and done it. You can thank me. Now, another one I picked up in a pawn shop, and this one was really nice, and it's a Christmas movie that everybody razzes, or well, everybody really they don't razz the movie because they haven't seen it. It's not really brought up much. And at the time, this actor was going through some personal issues, and he was overexposed basically. And he took some time off, come back, did his own films, did great. I'm talking about Ben Affleck. It was Surviving Christmas, and this one is a really unique Christmas film. I mean, it's got James Gandolfini, it's got Catherine O'Hara. And Ben Affleck is just an SOB who we learn why he's the way he is. He's just crazy. He's he hires a family to pose as his Christmas family to get the spirit of Christmas, and he just drives Gandolfini crazy. Like, he points at a contract and says, "Hey, we have to sing Christmas carols." And you come to find out, you see the way he is, and Gandolfini realizes why, They all realize, he's just a lonely man. He doesn't have anybody anymore. and that was really nice to see. I picked up the action film. It's really not a big Schwarzenegger one that I haven't seen that much around, but I saw it in the pawn shop. I picked it up. Red Heat with him and James Belushi. Yeah, Red Heat. It's a nice 80s one. Now here's one that I've been really looking forward, and I found a book, and it's got a bookcase with. It's got a nice art, nice little booklet set. It is a 2-disc 1 and 2 of Ghostbusters, and it comes with this nice little Ghostbusters book. I saw this in the pawn shop, and I knew I was getting it. I was like, this is mine. Because I have not seen Ghostbusters 2. I had my chance to get Ghostbusters 2 once, and I was like, I don't need to get that. I regretted it. Because I never did see it for a good couple months until I saw that. So that's good. And I just got Afterlife, so I'm good. I've got all the Ghostbusters films, and I got the game. Now we're going to take a little detour into some slight horror action. And this one is Carl Urban and The Rock in Doom.
Finally, The Rock has come back!
And this one is the underrated Rock film. You know, he plays a bad guy in this one. This is kind of cool. This was the unrated extended movie, too intense for theaters. But The Rock is there to lay the great one is there to lay the smackdown. You heard that, Eddie? He's laying the smackdown on their candy asses. I ain't seen Doom in a long time, so it's kind of good to get that one in there. Now this one is one that I haven't seen, and I was intrigued by it because Blumhouse has a history of doing some good horror films. They're like our modern day horror type studio that puts out good, decent horror films. So Blumhouse decided to get the name of Fantasy Island. They decided to use Fantasy Island as a horror thing. And it's really unique. I mean, I haven't seen this one. It was in the clearance bin of Cheap Thrills. So I'm going to go ahead and get that. No idea how that's going to go. Okay, I'm back. I also picked up Stephen King's The Mist. And I've been looking for this one for a while. The Mist is really a good one. Frank Darabont did this film. The guy behind the early seasons of The Walking Dead, the first season and a half, second half of the second season before he was pushed out. But if you notice in this film, there's like 2 or 3 actors that would actually go on to The Walking Dead. And the film has an ending that's different from the book. And Stephen King would actually come out and actually praise the ending. That's very intense. It's a really, The Mist is really spooky. It actually inspired a TV series that only ran 1 season. And you're kind of like, man, you really want to see what the second season was going to be like. And it kind of sucks that we won't get that. Another classic horror film I stayed with is Cujo. Cujo! Evil killer dog. And I will not let my niece watch this one because she would be scared of dogs for real after watching this. Cujo, classic 80s. Now, this is a nice set I picked up, and I can actually take one of my films and use it as trade bait later at Cheap Thrills. But I got 4 movies in a set. It's The Dead Zone, Pet Sematary, Silver Bullet, and Graveyard Shift. And I don't have 3 of these movies on DVD, so getting this with the Pet Sematary was kind of cool. So this will save some space on my shelf and give me a nice, nice horror collection set from Stephen King. Now we're going to get into the games, and I picked up some great games. The games. I picked up 2 PlayStation 3 games I needed, and trust me, I was over the moon at different times when I found these. Now, for the longest time on my list, I've got a list of PlayStation 3 games I need, and I've got the X-Men game, but I don't have X-Men Origins Wolverine, and this is the Uncaged edition. I didn't have it for the PlayStation 3. Now, I asked him if he could switch out the case, and he said no. He said, I can't let you switch out the case. I'm sorry. I told him, I said, here's the case. I said, you can see the price and everything. But he didn't charge me this price. He marked it way, way lower. But I went ahead and I said, I'll get a case for it. I might, I'll eventually find I'm going to eventually find the cases I need for these games. But to get this game was one that I was really happy about. And I'm sorry about the lighting here. I'm going to try to fix it up a little bit. Now, a couple months ago, I think I shot a vlog where I was supposed to meet a lady, and she had all these PlayStation 3 games, and I got the Guitar Hero ones. But one of the issues was I could not get one of the games that was listed because somebody had jumped ahead of me. And I believe this is the game because it's our small town, and it's really weird to see this game for the second time. Well, anyway, I was wanting to get Resonance of Fate, one of the RPGs from Sega. She had it there. That was the main reason I was going for this bundle, because she had like 4 or 5 games. I said, I'd like to get that Resonance of Fate. She said, I just sold it. And I was like, crap. So I was going to look at Double Jump games. I was like, maybe I should order that. Because I don't see it around here, and I don't see it at Computer Whiz. And I said, maybe down the line I'll order it. And so one day I'm in the pawn shop. Local pawn shop. There it is set. There it is, Resonance of Fate. And I knew I was going to pick it up. And this is in great condition. So that's 2 ones I wanted off my list. There. Now we're going to go on to the PlayStation 5. We're jumping from the 3 to the 5. 3 to 5. Anyhow, I was in Walmart a couple weeks ago. And I'm sitting there going through Walmart. And I noticed, always check your clearance thing. Because they've got good games in clearance. And I was like, is that a PlayStation 5 game for $5 in clearance? And it was actually the show 21. They had marked it down, the show for the PlayStation 5. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. I'll get that. That's a nice little, own the show. Yeah, that's right. I own the show. But yeah, I don't know who the baseball player is, but I like some baseball time, so I went ahead and picked it up. And finally, this one I found in Cheap Thrills, and this is brand new. And they had marked this one down, and I used my card. I used my June card for it. And so this is unbelievable, because basically, I couldn't believe the price. They had marked it down, I think, like $20, and it's actually 5 games. So you're basically getting these 5 games for like 20 or $25, I believe. I think it's like around that when I use my card. But I couldn't believe it because even though I had these games for the PlayStation 3, I had the collection for the PlayStation 4 for 4 of them or 3 of them. I went ahead and wanted to get them all in one new disc. It's called the Thieves Collection, Legacy of Thieves Collection. It's got Uncharted 1 through 5, and this is Naughty Dog putting it out. I think this is basically a little bridge to give us time for them to work on something. There's rumors going around, and I'm going to ask, I can't think of his name. I'm the voice actor for Nathan Drake. I'm going to ask him, I'm going to say, I know you can't say anything because, could you just, give me a hint or, will we see Nathan Drake again? Eventually. And I know you can't go into big detail. Do you think we'll see Nathan Drake again? And hopefully he'll say yes. And that's all. I said, don't worry, I said, I hope we see him because I think the character could work as a father. You could do co-missions with him and his daughter. Like the daughter could do the puzzles and stuff. She don't have to go full blown killer crazy with the guns and everything. You could do stuff with the daughter in missions, but you could have Nathan Drake out there shooting, people in his way, and But yeah, I love the Uncharted series. The Uncharted series is one of the best series ever made, and finding a collection like this was kind of nice for the PlayStation 5. It's really nice. Now you're here for the big one, the big enchilada. Now, I explained this to Eddie about it was in late May, early June. I think it's early June. Anyhow, cheap thrills. I was in cheap thrills looking around. It's always good to hit your thrift stores because, like I said, I wouldn't have noticed this. I wouldn't have noticed this big box set, this beautiful big box set, if marked down on a cheap price that would let me get it. So I'm sitting there looking around, and I tell Eddie, I was like, man, I'm looking around for movies, and I saw this, and it's the Friday the 13th classic box set with all 12 movies, the art book, and one of the bonus ones, the discs that the detail to how all the movies. I love that. Look at that. Look at that cover. Look at that. So I'm in there and I'm looking around, and so he that was a piece of price sticker. So I knew I had a ton of movies I could trade him. So I walked in. I said, I'm gonna get that. And he said, can I put it back? He said, I'll put it back for you. I said, okay. So I went home and there was a bunch of horror movies. All the Fridays that I had on DVD. Took them over. But took some movies I wasn't going to watch. I knew I wasn't going to watch anytime. And man, I racked up some big store credit. I mean, God, I knocked down some big store credit to knock this thing down so I could get it. And it really felt good to get this. And it's one of my favorite chain pickups. I can't believe I found this box set like that. But it always pays to hit your cheap thrills. And I was in there just looking around at stuff, and he said, "Yeah, we'll do that." I said, "Okay." I felt good. I felt accomplished. But yeah, between Friday the 13th box set and these video games, and gosh, it was really a nice June. It was really a nice June, and I'm gonna take July off. July will be my time to take off. You will not see. I actually found an old vlog. You'll probably see two parts of an old vlog that I shot back in 2019. I actually found it. I'm gonna redo the intro, and you'll see that, but you will not see no new content in July. Sorry, I'm taking off. In August, I'll be back with some new content, hopefully. Uh, I'm just going to take off for the next month because I plan to go to Big Lick Con and meet Jim Shooter. So I'm going to do some filming there. It's going to be a big deal with the vlog. The A-Team, we're slowly starting to come together on what our plans are. So you'll see that going forward. But I want to thank you for watching, and I got a busy summer.